Hello! Here are some tips and important things to keep in mind when assembling our playgrounds, playhouses, slides, and any wooden structure. If you follow these steps, you won't have any problems. Once you receive the order, separate the wooden pieces by size and thickness to check that you have all the necessary parts for the assembly. We also recommend labeling the pieces with the numbering from the instructions. The measurements of the wooden parts may have small variations, but this does not affect the assembly of the structure. Wood is a living material, and it reacts to changes in humidity and temperature. Sometimes you may find a piece of wood that is slightly warped. In these cases, you'll need to apply a bit of force when screwing it in, but don't worry, once fixed in place, the wood will return to its correct shape. It is very important to always pre-drill the wood before screwing, to avoid cracks or splits when inserting the screw. You should use a drill bit with the same diameter as the screw. Remember that when joining two pieces of wood, the screw should always go from the thinner piece into the thicker one, to ensure a strong and stable connection. For platforms and roofs, you may need to cut a piece of wood to size to prevent gaps between the slats. Another option is to space the slats evenly, making sure the gap never exceeds 7 mm. If the playset is for children under 3 years old, the gap should be no more than 5 mm. When installing guardrails, it's important to ensure that the space between two vertical slats is at least 2.5 cm and no more than 8.9 cm. Once the structure is assembled, carefully inspect it. It's important to sand any sharp edges and check for splinters. If you find any, remove them and sand the area well to make sure everything is completely safe. It's also important to dig holes in the ground to fix the tower with the ground anchors. First, assemble the entire structure and choose the final location carefully. This will prevent you from making holes that later don't match if you decide to change the location at the last moment. Here's how to install the anchors in concrete properly to ensure a safe and durable installation. The hole should be square because this allows the concrete block to grip the ground better. Screw the anchors in place and insert the bottom part of the anchor into the hole you've made. Mix dry concrete with water, following the manufacturer's instructions, and fill each hole, making sure the anchor stays firmly in place. Do not fill the hole all the way to the top, this way you can cover the concrete with the leftover soil and hide it. Remember that wood installed outdoors suffers over time due to exposure to the sun, which causes it to lose elasticity and deteriorate. To protect it, it is important to apply an appropriate treatment. We recommend using water-based wood stain, lacer, as it helps preserve the wood in good condition. Finally, we recommend regularly checking the structure to ensure there are no loose screws or broken parts. If you find any damage, you must replace the affected pieces to avoid risks.